Ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to the happiest guys in football right now behind me. Looking forward to it. We certainly are. Italy, Spain tonight. Looking forward to that too. See who the competition is. He said optimistically for tomorrow's game. Let's hope so. Good morning to you. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. This is Ken at 10, broadcasting daily about property news. And today I want to talk to you about something that somehow was missed by us. So I apologize for not letting you know sooner. But the news is for Croydon landlords that the selective licensing scheme has been refused by the Housing Secretary, Robert Jenrick. And we got a note of why it was refused. And it's interesting. It looks likely that there will be no, they can apply again, but it looks highly likely that it will be refused. And I've got the letter here, which actually, I think it's been suppressed because it certainly hasn't been in the broader news. I saw it on Inside Croydon as a result of following a track of a tweet. But what he says, and the letter is dated the 7th of June, is that after careful consideration, I've concluded that the application fails to satisfy the criteria. As such, I consider that it is appropriate to refuse to confirm the designation of 28 wards as subject to selective licensing on both grounds applied for. Below is a detailed breakdown of my assessment. This may assist you should you wish to make another application. So caveat that with that, they can make another application. But interestingly, he says the council are unable to demonstrate how selective licensing combined with other measures taken by them will contribute to the improvement in general housing conditions in the area. In the council selective licensing scheme, the council did not demonstrate strong outcomes or efficient delivery of the scheme. This evidence further persuades me not to grant a further scheme. So very good news for landlords in the borough of Croydon, as we are, and many of our clients are too. I know a lot of landlords have been worried about this. How much will it be? What will happen? And one of the reasons was apparently that they didn't discover a single category 1, that's the worst case of hazard, in the whole of the 5-year licensing scheme. How was that? They've got 20 million from the scheme and they didn't manage to catch anyone with a category 1 hazard. Really? Seemed very strange to me. So it's they've decided not to approve the scheme. Very good news. It says, and this is the last bit that it says on the letter, which is interesting because there's no widespread spouting of this information, although I do see there is some response from the council now. Not as much as you would expect, but they're obviously trying to hide behind it a little bit, it would seem. In conclusion, after careful consideration, I decided not to approve the application. It is not incumbent on the council to publish a notice informing its populace that an application has not been successful. However, it is best practice, and I therefore encourage the council to take reasonable steps to publish the outcome of this application. I don't think they'll be publishing that letter, but if you want a copy, drop me an email, give me a shout, tag me, whatever way you can do it, and I'll certainly send you a copy. So good news for Croydon landlords for once. Gosh, I've waited a while to say that for you. So how are you today? You doing well? I hope you are. We certainly are. We're having a busy day again. Everything is going on. Lots of landlord inspections lined up over the next week or two. It's something we like to make sure that the properties are being looked after, etc. And generally speaking, still getting some good valuations, some strong new instructions, not as many as we'd like. So if you're thinking of selling, 2 things. Number one, we are retained by a client who is cash buying a large number of houses in the local areas of Norbury, Streatham and Thornton Heath. So if you're thinking of selling, we may have a solution for you that wouldn't involve you paying us because we're retained by the other side and would never take fees from both sides of the equation. Home ownership needs to be made more affordable for young people. That's an article in the Independent today. Phil Thornton warns the property market boom will hit young people the hardest as nationwide data reveals the strongest rise in residential property values for 17 years. Just goes to show, was that stamp duty incentive necessary? Mr. Thornton believes that home ownership will simply become yet more unaffordable for young people and for key workers who are already priced out of many areas before COVID-19. He adds that this will exacerbate the intergenerational wealth gap and favour of those who rely on the bank of mum and dad, BOMAD, the bank of mum and dad. I think everybody seems to rely on that these days, don't they? So apart from that, inflation is tracking up again, causing alarm. I mean, this is interesting because obviously inflation, on the one hand, it's good news that people are able to charge more for their goods. On the other hand, it makes things less affordable and means that we all need more money to get the same things. But then the question comes in, how do we control that? And the answer is via interest rates, that's a tool that the governments have used regularly. But at the moment, it seems that people are not even thinking about raising interest rates. And so that even in America now, they're saying that if they do raise interest rates, they're talking about 1/4 to 0.5% in the next in 2 years' time. So it doesn't look like we're likely to have an uptick in American interest rates. And I would think that the UK government and probably the rest of the EU will follow suit and just hunker down and hope that inflation settles as we come out of the pandemic. And with a loosening of all the rules now, it does look likely that things will start to return to a semblance of normality. So that's it for today. Great news for Croydon landlords. Sorry it wasn't published earlier. As I say, it seems to have been a bit hidden in the news. I don't know whether you caught it earlier, but certainly the first time that we caught it. We will keep you updated if there's another application in. I imagine it's going to take them a little bit more thought than last time. And even then, I'm not convinced they will get the nod for licensing. I don't doubt that they will try again and again, because 20 million quid's a lot of money and they'd like it. Thank you very much, especially given that they're bankrupt and very skint. So apart from that, hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another Ken at 10. Until then, take care of yourselves and your families.